We would like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which this material was created is the traditional unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq peoples. This territory is covered by the treaties of peace and friendship, which Wallace Tuig, Mi'kmaq, and Passamaquoddy peoples first signed with the British Crown in 1726. The treaties did not deal with surrender of lands and resources, but in fact recognized Mi'kmaq and Wallace Tuig title and established the rules for what was to be an ongoing relationship between nations.
Hi everyone, we're from Resurgo Place, home of the Moncton Museum and Transportation Discovery Center.
And we love history.
Do you have big buildings like churches, schools, or banks in your town? If they look a little older, they might be made of stone.
Oh, I love stone buildings.
Let's go exploring.
Buildings can be made from all sorts of materials like wood, brick, and stone. Most of these materials were sourced in the area.
There are many types of stone used in building. In New Brunswick, we mostly used sandstone.
What is sandstone? And where does it come from?
Sandstone is created when small, sand-like particles are compressed over millions of years to form a solid piece of rock. It is extracted from large, deep pits in the earth.
Does your town have a main street? Does it have really old buildings like this one? Are they made of stone?
This one is pink. Why is that?
Well, depending on the sand, the color of the sandstone can be different. This is why different quarries specialize in specific colored sandstone. This one came from a quarry in Sackville. We call this red sandstone.
This is a commercial building. Are there types of buildings made of stone too?
Yes, let's have a look. So this is the former Moncton High School. What color sandstone would you call this?
Well, it's more green than the last one we looked at.
It's a very common color of sandstone here in New Brunswick. We call it olive green. Are there any olive green stone buildings where you live?
Are these stones also from a quarry in Sackville?
Actually, no. This one is from a quarry in Shediac, specializing in this colored sandstone.
What other buildings are made of stone?
Churches are a big one. Let's go have a look at the oldest stone church here in Moncton.
Whoa, this looks old.
This is St. Bernard's Church. It was completed in 1891, and it's the oldest stone church here in the city.
The stone is a different color.
They call this pale olive, and sometimes brown sandstone.
So it must have come from a different quarry then.
It did. It actually came from the priest's personal quarry in Notre Dame, New Brunswick.
What? He had his own quarry?
He sure did, and he actually used it to build other religious buildings as well.
Banks, churches, schools. What other types of buildings are made of stone?
If you have a city hall or town hall, what is it made of? Is it sandstone like this?
This is pink. No, this is red sandstone. Does it come from Sackville?
Actually, this one comes from Amherst, Nova Scotia, but it would have been from the same seam of red sandstone as Sackville.
I guess nature doesn't follow the same boundaries as people do.
That's true.
It must have been pretty expensive to build buildings out of stone instead of brick or wood, since only the big buildings seem to be built out of it.
It was expensive. There were some prominent people in Moncton's history that were able to afford houses built of stone, but it was generally used for foundations or some decorative elements when it comes to residents.
Was local business enough to keep quarries open?
That's the neat thing about quarries in New Brunswick. They provided for projects all over North America.
Mary's Point Quarry in Albert County produced some of the finest sandstone in North America. It was used in creating monuments and buildings all over the Maritimes and even in the construction of Bethesda Terrace in Central Park, New York. When repairs and restoration work needed to be done on the terrace in the 1980s, they wanted an exact match to the existing stone. The original quarry had been out of commission for years. but it was reopened temporarily to source stone for this project.
So what can you find in your community? Are there old stone buildings? What were they used for originally, and what are they used for today? And what colors are they?
If you find a stone building in your community, it's fun to think that they might be connected to other stone buildings in New Brunswick.
And maybe even elsewhere in North America.
Have fun exploring.